Yes. Please rise in body and our spirit for our gathering hymn 298, Wake Now My Senses.
But they never leave the stream of warm impermanence, and so the days flow through my eyes, and still the days, they seem the same. And these children that you spit on as they try to change their worlds are immune to your consultations. They're quite aware of what they're going through. Changes, face the strange changes. Don't tell them to grow up and grow out of it. Changes, face the strange changes. Where's your shame? You left us up to our necks in it. Time may change me, but you can't trace time. Strange fascinations fascinate me. Changes are taking the pace that I'm going through. Changes, turn to face the strange changes. Oh, look out, you rock and rollers. Changes, turn to face the strange changes. Pretty soon now you're gonna get older. Time may change me, but I can't trace time. I said that time may change me, but I can't trace time.
Thank you.
My opening reading is a poem I wrote. Here we are. Here we are in liminal time. We are told it will never be the same. Do not hope for normal. There will have to be a new normal. I don't even know what that means. I can't even imagine what that will look like. As you are falling, you don't ask yourself, I wonder what it will look like at the bottom. We just plummet until we hit some solid ground, and then we will figure the way forward. There is no escape or denying the reality we find ourselves in. There is just a going through, step by step, knowing we are not alone as we search, struggle, and stretch to find what is still possible. Something has to change, something has to give, something has to happen. A door open to step through, a light shining to guide us, a vision awakened as we remain open, to know how we will evolve and how the world will unfold. And as we search together, let us remember those upon whom our foundation is built, those that are still with us building, and those that are still to come. Let us be a present to the past, to the present, and whatever the future may hold. As we light our chalice, let it be the symbol of light guiding our way forward. So please join me now in affirming our value as transformation, which is in your order of service and will be shown above. Will be shown on the screen above. Thank you. We adapt to the changing world. We covenant to collectively transform and grow spiritually and ethically. Openness to change is fundamental to our Unitarian and Universalist heritages, never complete and never perfect.
Good morning, everyone. Today is a story that I wrote inspired by Tim Elmore's story of the same name, and it is called The Story of the Carrot, the Egg, and the Coffee Bean. Rowan dashed out of the house, jumped onto his skateboard, and pushed off down the street. As he passed his friend Drew's house, he could hear Drew's parents yelling at each other. He couldn't hear their words, but he knew they were angry. But then Rowan thought they were always angry. Last summer, Rowan and his family moved across country to be closer to his grandparents. His mom and dad said it was because his grandma and Pop-Pop were getting older and needed help. But Rowan didn't think that was the reason. Yeah, sure, his grandparents were old, but they were both still working and didn't use a wheelchair or anything. So Rowan remembered at his old house, the cars would drive by all the time, some super fast racing down the road, and sometimes slow and stopping at the corner down the street. Often the person standing at the corner would talk to the driver a few minutes before the car would take off. One night, gunshots were fired outside and a bullet came through the living room window. His older sister, Sibby, who suffers from anxiety, freaked out. It was then that his parents made the plans to move. So Rowan skated up to a house a few doors down, hefted his board on his shoulder, and went through the gate to the backyard. And there he found his grandma, the coolest old person he knew, and one he loved very much, swinging in her gazebo, enjoying a cup of coffee. "Hi, Rowan," his grandma called as Rowan rushed into her arms, trying not to cry. "What's wrong?" she gently plied. Rowan did not know where to start. I just don't know what's going on. People just seem either so angry or sad or afraid. Should I be afraid too? What brought this on, Rowan? Well, last week I was riding the bus to school and there were mobs of people carrying signs. Some were on one side of the road and some were on the other side, but they were yelling at each other. And not nice things, too. I was afraid they were going to have a fight. Then 2 days ago, Sibby's school went into lockdown. Someone had accidentally sent the wrong emergency code, and everyone thought there was an active shooter in the school. It took them 2 hours to let all the students out of their classrooms, but now Sibby won't hardly come out of her room, and she won't go to school because she's too scared. Then today, my friend Drew, do you know him? Well, he's not big like me, but we like the same games. He told me the other day, though, that he has never really felt like a boy and likes girl stuff, too, like dresses and sparkly things. I didn't know what to say, but, I don't care, so I just told him, okay. But today, some big boy circled him and called him names that weren't nice and pushed him around. I wanted to help him, but I was afraid those bullies would beat me up. I really feel bad. Oh, Grandma, what's going on? Why is life so hard? So Grandma hugged him gently. Rowan, I need another cup of coffee. Come in the kitchen so you can help me while I show you something. Grandma got out 2 pots and asked Rowan to fill them with water, and then she turned on the stove to heat the water. Next, she asked Rowan to get out the biggest carrot from the refrigerator and 1 egg. When Rowan came back, she handed the carrot to Rowan and said to describe how strong the carrot was. And Rowan replied in his best Arnold voice, "Look, I am the carrot nigger. I am so strong." And Grandma replied by holding the egg, "Well, I'm just a fragile guy with a thin shell holding all that gooey stuff on the inside." Grandma told Rowan to put the egg and the carrots in their own boiling pots while they made a fresh pot of coffee together. And when the coffee was done, Grandma poured herself a cup, then took the boiled carrot and the eggs and placed them in front of Rowan. Rowan noticed that the carrot was now soft and mushy, while the egg had turned hard. "You see, Rowan, the hot water is like life in its challenges, not always comfortable. The carrot lost all of its good stuff and became mushy. The egg hardened up under the circumstances, became less fragile, but also less open for possibilities. But what about my coffee? When the hot water hit the coffee beans, the coffee and the water blended and changed each other. You could even say it helped the water evolve into a delicious nectar of the gods." We will all experience not so comfortable things in our life. And the question is, will you be like the carrot, the egg, or the coffee bean when you face adversity? So Rowan thought about this, and then he noticed a box sitting on Grandma's table. "What is this box, Grandma?" "Well, it's a guest at your table box. You see, our faith, Unitarian Universalism, has a service committee that works with all kinds of people and organizations around the world. They like to be like the coffee bean, to help people in our environment that are facing adversity, to help them get out of the hot water, and then to change the water so that everyone can be safe and be together in blended harmony as it was meant to be." This is the 50th year the service committee has held a Guest at Your Table program. And we ask our members to take a box home for the holidays and place it on their table to not only learn about some of the stories of the people we help, but also to help raise money. With each meal, you would put in the box the same amount of money as if you had paid to feed your guest. And after the first of the year, those boxes are collected and the money inside is used to help our service committee to do its good work. "Well, where can I and others at our congregation get a box, Grandma?" Remember to get one in the courtyard after the service today or next Sunday. I find personally having a Guest at Your Table box, it reminds me of all the blessings and all the good things that I have to be able to share with others, even when life is not easy. So now I invite all our children and youth to join their teachers in their classrooms to learn more about this special program. Thank you.
Hello, I'm back. What a beautiful story that was. I love that. All right, Donna's going to help me on this one.
I was born by a river in a little tent, oh, and just like that river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change is gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die, 'cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change is gonna come. Oh yes, it will. I go to the movie and I go downtown. Somebody keeps telling me, don't hang around. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change will come. Then I go to my brother, I say, oh brother, brother, help me please. Oh, but he winds up knocking me back down. Oh, my knees, and there have been times that I thought I couldn't last for long, but I know now that I think I'm able to carry on, 'cause it's been a long time coming, but I know a change is gonna come. Oh yes it will, 'cause oh yes it will, it's gonna come. I know a change is gonna come.
Thank you.
Thank you, Johnny. Thank you. Beautiful. So today, I'm just going to ask us to take a moment of silence and to contemplate for ourselves our place in the wider universe, and to contemplate the preciousness of each of ours and everyone's lives. Let us take a moment of silence now. Proverbs 11:29 says, "Those who trouble their household will inherit the wind." Now, some of you may recognize this phrase from the movie Inherit the Wind with Spencer Tracy, based on the Scopes trial in 1925, where a teacher was prosecuted for teaching Darwin's theory of evolution. Today, with laws restricting LGBTQ discourse in classrooms and the banning of critical race theory, we are witnessing a chilling echo of that era, a time when truth itself was on trial. Now, when we look at Darwin's theory of evolution in a very simplified way, it speaks to a species and its traits, survival being based on its ability to adapt to a changing environment. We often hear the phrase survival of the fittest, but actually Darwin did not write that, although he did include it in later versions. I think it was one of his relatives, Herbert Spencer, who wrote that. But I guess it sounded better than survival of the adaptists. I don't know. Darwin showed that changes were only very gradual over a long period of time, and was clear to point out that the changes due to evolution did not indicate improvement of a species, just its adaptability to survive. Now, of course, in order to improve, we must survive first. And just as evolution hinges on adaptation, our survival as a society relies on cooperation, not just with one another, but with the very planet itself that we inhabit. Single-celled organisms needed to cooperate to form multicellular life, paving the way for all of us to be here. We, as individuals and a society, are becoming more and more complex, and therefore we as humans have to learn to cooperate with each other if we are going to survive. At what point will survival of our species require us to cooperate with each other versus waging violent wars on a cyclical basis? When will survival of our species require that we cooperate with the land we live on instead of excavating it? You know, we do not have to wait for it to be required, right? We know there is a cause and effect. We saw during COVID the air quality improve. We have seen what states like California, you see before and after, put strict emission laws for air, and air pollution decreased. And you can see in that picture very clearly, we as humans can make a difference in the future of our existence. And only by using the trait of cooperation will we evolve in a healthy and sustainable way. It's led me to think about the question about whether religion is a trait that is necessary to help humanity evolve. What is it about religion that helps us not only survive as a species, but thrive as a species? I think at most basic level, religion gives comfort to people in the face of our awareness that we are going to die. Right? The uniqueness of our species is our self-awareness, including our eventual death, and our ability to express our thoughts creatively about our life and our death. So how we express our thoughts have changed over the years, from cave paintings to Shakespeare to TikTok. Now, I'm not sure that evolution is improvement, but it changes, and we have to adapt to that change. Religion does require, and I would say at its best, teaches cooperation. We take all of our single selves as individuals and combine them with each other to transform us into something greater, something better than we could ever have been alone. Religion reminds us that we are not alone. It connects us with the ongoing process of evolution. We are reminded we are part of the universe, not separated from it. We are connected, not isolated. And we are interdependent with it and with each other. The universe would not exist in the way that it does today without any of us. So part of the challenge of religion today is that it is telling the same stories with the same interpretations for the past 2,000 years. And it is that the thing that I love and the beauty of Unitarian Universalism is that it is a dynamic religion that adapts to changing times and to new knowledge and experiences that we have in the world. Creation and revelation are ongoing, and we are a part of that creation. And religion has always used symbols to help us understand our place in the creation of the universe. And those symbols change over time and have to be reimagined and reinterpreted, but they can still have meaning. So I just wonder, is there anyone out there who has not seen the movie Lion King? Okay, there are a few. Okay. Well, it's a story, for those who haven't, it's a story of a journey of a lion cub towards self-discovery and self-awareness. And one scene, the lion cub named Simba and his friend Pumbaa the warthog and Timon the meerkat are sitting in a field looking up at the stars. And Pumbaa asks Timon, "Do you ever wonder what those sparkly dots up there are?" And Timon says, "I don't have to wonder, I know. They are fireflies that got stuck in the big bluish-black thing." And Pumbaa disappointingly responds, "Oh, I always thought they were balls of gas burning billions of miles away." And then they ask Simba, and Simba says, "Somebody once told me that the great kings of the past are up there looking over us," meaning his father who had died. And although one of those answers may have been more scientifically, technically correct, I think one could say that none of the answers were incorrect from the perspective of the speaker, in that it helped each one of them gain meaning of their understanding of the world. And the stars in the sky are our ancestors, right? We are actually made out of the stuff of stars. A star had to go supernova, had to be destroyed in order for our planet to exist, right? And for us even to be here today. So we are the stuff of stars. So technically, you could say that was true. We are part of a long line of causal effects over the course of the existence of the universe. The late Stephen Jay Gould, Harvard paleontologist, said, and I quote, "The pathways that have led to our evolution are quirky, improbable, unrepeatable, and utterly unpredictable. Human evolution is not random. It makes sense and can be explained after the fact. But wind back life's tape to the dawn of time and let it play again, and you will never get humans a second time." End quote. That is a daunting and interesting thought. And so the primal question we have to ask ourselves is, do we believe that evolution, that the conditions that brought us to this point in time have meaning? Do we believe that the universe and our lives are just a random set of events? Or do we believe there is a purpose for our existence? We are a meaning-making species. What things mean may change over time, including religion, but what we believe does matter. For we often create self-fulfilling prophecies. Do we believe that we can have a shared ethic as a human species? And if we do, if we believe that is possible, then how do we work to make that possible? And if we believe that there is an evolution of humanity, then we should be open to the idea of the evolution of our faith. To be able to continue this evolution of the UUs of Sarasota, we ask you to be as generous as possible as we take our collection today. You can give by, they will be passing the baskets, or if you're online or you have your cell phone, you can use, there's a link in our website on the YouTube or that squiggly line thing. Let this sacred time begin. One day I'll remember what that means, that the word is. QR code, thank you. Yeah. Our next reading is from James Luther Adams, a Unitarian theologian, on being human religiously. Liberalism holds that the resources that are available for the achievement of meaningful change justify an attitude of ultimate optimism. This view does not necessarily involve immediate optimism. In our century, we have seen the rebarbarization of the masses. We have witnessed a widespread dissolution of values, and we have seen the appearance of great collective demonries. Progress is now seen not to take place through inheritance. Each generation must anew win insight into the ambiguous nature of human existence. and must give new relevance to moral and spiritual values. A realistic appraisal of our behavior, personal and institutional, and a life of continuing humility and renewal are demanded, for there are ever-present forces in and among us working for perversion and destruction. And now, one more time, the music of Joni Adno.
There. That was hard. This is a tune by Bob Dylan. Some of you may remember it from back in the 60s.
Come gather round, people, wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown, and accept that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, then you better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone, for the times they are a-changing. Come writers and critics who prophesize with your pen, and keep your eyes wide, the chance won't come again. And don't speak too soon, for the wheel's still in spin. There's no telling who that it is naming, for the loser now will be later to win, and the times they are changing. Of senators and congressmen, please heed the call. Don't stand in the doorway, don't block up the hall, for he that gets hurt will be he who has stalled. In the battle outside it is raging, it'll soon shake your windows and rattle your walls, for the times they are a-changing. Come mothers and fathers throughout the land, and don't criticize what you can't understand. Your sons and your daughters are beyond your command. Your old road is rapidly aging. Please get out of the new one if you can't lend your hand, for the times they are a-changing. The line it is drawn, the curse it is cast. The slow one now will later be fast, as the present now will later be past. The order is rapidly fading, and the first one now it will later be last, for the times they are changing, for the times they are changing, for the times they are changing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I've not heard that song for a very long time, and I have to tell you, it's amazing how now that is back again, I think. As my opening poem indicated, we live in liminal times, meaning the state of transition or transformation, a time between when we know that it will never be like it previously was, and a time where we wonder what is coming next. The truth is, we never know what's going to happen. We never know, no matter how much we plan. Still, at this moment, we know that we are at a crucial leverage point in the history of our country. In this time when our religious community's mission, vision, principles, and values are under attack, we have a crucial decision to make. Do we speak up and potentially incur the wrath of those in power who differ with us? Or do we stay silent and care for each other and others? And is being silent a preemptive submission to power that would embolden and enable those in power? Now, I am not going to stand here and tell you I know definitively what the future holds, but I am here to guide you, to give you something to think about based on our Unitarian Universalist principles, values, and practices. We can look at our religious history to guide us. In the face of power who insisted on human depravity, we said, no, we believe all humans are sacred. In the face of power who insisted on the Trinity of God, we said, no, we believe there is a unity of God, and later expanded the possibilities of what divinity means or doesn't mean. In the face of power who wanted to enslave human beings, we said, no, our values call for emancipation of all people. In the face of power who wanted women to remain disenfranchised, we said, no, our values call for women's suffrage. In the face of power who wanted to keep Jim Crow laws segregating blacks from white society, we said, no, our values call for civil rights for all. In the face of power who wanted the LGBTQ individuals to stay in the closet, we said, no, we want equality for all, including marriage equality. Now, different people have different contexts and abilities and personalities. And of course, they are all welcome here. And I think it's interesting to just look at the names of our buildings. We have the Lexow Wing, the Reeb Room, and the West Wing. Not the presidential office, but maybe. The Lexow Wing, I have been told, is named for someone who was a lead donor to build that building, right? And we need that. We would not be here being able to do all that we do if you do not donate. The Reeb Room is named after the Reverend James Reeb. Reeb answered Martin Luther King's call to march in Selma, Alabama for voting rights for African Americans, and he was murdered, along with Viola Liuzzo, by white Ku Klux Klan members. He showed up. We could not do what we do without people showing up to implement the mission and vision of the UUs of Sarasota. And finally, the West Wing. I assume it was named that because it's on the western side of our property. I just made that assumption. But yet it symbolizes so much more. The concept of going west, right? Although recognizing now its imperialist history and symbol of land theft of indigenous people, land, it is also a symbol, that concept, of exploration of the unknown, right? Which does have dangers and has thrills and has new things that we have never seen before. The West Wing is used for education. The name symbolizes our commitment to teach and to learn. And we need all of this. We need money. We need showing up. We need exploration if our values will lead to a religious evolution. How do all of these, how we do all these things have evolved and will continue to evolve over time. I can look at where we are now. Since I have arrived, we have used the maxim to base our decisions not on our fears, but on our values. Our value of building relationships, our values of caring, our value of working for justice in this world. The Unitarian Universalists of Sarasota have responded. Our members have been working to educate ourselves in various ways by various means. We continue to work in the community to bring our principles and our values into the world. And just as I was not, and I'm not willing to preemptively submit to power, I also will not preemptively assume the worst possible outcome before whatever happens, happens. Right? We don't know what's going to happen. So whatever happens, though, we need to be prepared to deepen our commitment to acting with our principles and values, to continue building our relationships in the community, to form bonds that can stand against the wind that will blow, to be a religious place where exploration and evolution happens on an ongoing basis. I talked earlier about evolution being able to adapt to survive. I do not mean just physically survive, but for an idea to survive, for a vision to survive, for hope to survive. And if we do not live out our mission and vision, if we do not live out our values in the world, if we do not care for each other and others, then I have to ask, what is the purpose of the existence of Unitarian Universalism? I believe in Unitarian Universalism. It has transformed my life. At midlife, when some people go out and buy a sports car, I became a minister because I wanted to share with others and make sure others had the same opportunity to be transformed. Evolution is not easy, and it is not quick, and it doesn't go in a straight line. The world we knew is changing. We need to adapt and respond to the changing world if our values are to be a part of its evolution. We have to be the coffee bean that changes the water. As Proverbs 12 says, the purposes of the righteous are justice, the speech of the upright saves them, the house of the righteous shall endure. End quote. So when the wind blows, let us have the resolve to stand firm for our values. May it be so. I invite you to rise in body and or spirit for our closing hymn 311, Let It Be a Dance. closing words are the adaptation, a very big adaptation of First They Came by Pastor Martin Niemöller. First they came for the transgender individuals, and I did not speak out because I was not transgender. Then they came for the immigrants, and I did not speak out because I was not an immigrant. And then they came for same-sex marriage, and I did not speak out because I was not in a same-sex marriage. And then they came for the unions, and I did not speak out because I was not in a union. Then they came for the Muslims, and I did not speak out because I was not a Muslim, and on and on and on. And then they came for the Unitarian Universalists, and there was no one left to speak out for us. So we need to speak out at the first sign of oppression. Please join me in extinguishing our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Thank you all for your presence here today. Go forth and do good and be good. Thank you.